Hey y'all, this is Susan. If you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time here, I invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get a little notification when I post something. I do try to post every day. It doesn't always happen though, especially on weekends because my boyfriend is off work and I'm not gonna lie, I told y'all from the very beginning you were gonna get raw and unfiltered. This is no makeup, unfiltered, real life, the way it looks. And the truth is, I'm very self-conscious recording when anybody else is at home. So when he's home, I don't record and post as much because I'm very self-conscious about it. Anyway, today was shampoo day for the mop of hair. That's why it looks like this. It's clean. It's just, it's still kind of wet and funky, crazy, wild. Anyway, y'all are used to that by now. It was also laundry day. So let's see. Let's see if we can, I'm just showing y'all the reality of life. Look, there's laundry hanging back there on the rack drying because it's what it is. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I have not yet figured out how to start a video, stop a video, and restart a video. Like pause it. I also have not figured out how to make a video, stop it, make a new video, and join those together. Don't know how to do it. Have no idea how to do it. Let me turn that so there's not so much glare if I can. Apparently I can't. Anyway, let me scoot this way. Turn this way, it's not so bad. Anyway, so trying this for the first time, I wanted to practice some fall watercolor art with the watercolor pencils because I know a lot of people think they can't paint. If you can color in a coloring book, you can use the watercolor pencils and draw and then go back with just a plain brush with water and turn it into a painting. That's what I've been doing. So I'm gonna do some of that today. I have a little list of things I'd like to make. List of things I'd like to make for October and November. Some Thanksgiving foods for November, and a couple of things for October that I want to try. But one of the things I've been challenged with is painting, then going back with a pen afterwards to add detail. That works, but it seems like I should be able to pencil a little sketch, go over that with a black pen, erase my pencil lines, and then paint. But I'm having trouble finding a pen that doesn't bleed when it gets wet. I don't know why. I have ordered some pens that I think are the Micron pens. I think those might not bleed. I'm not sure. That seems like what a lot of people use. One of my favorite bullet journal creators to follow is Joshi Corin. She does amazing art in her journals, and does a lot with alcohol markers, and I would think an alcohol marker would do the same thing over a black pen that watercolor would. So whatever she uses doesn't bleed, and she does it before she does the coloring. So we're going to try today. I'm going to try to I'm going to try to flip the camera down, pointed at my pad here. I've got my cup of watercolor pencils, my little palette of watercolor paints, some paper towels, and a pen down here. Let me see. I've got a pencil to sketch with a little bit. Let me see. I think I want to get a, let me see. I'm gonna get the pencil out of here because I know that it erases well. Okay, I've got a pencil from here, and let me get an eraser. I want to use a white eraser because I think, well, because some erasers, you know, they'll leave color. That's not an eraser. Some erasers will leave color on your paper, and I don't want to do that. I want to just be able to erase my pencil marks. So let's see. Let's see if we can flip this down here. Y'all just forgive me while I flip a little bit. Let's see. There's my hand. There's the top of the book. It looks like we're here. Okay. So, I painted this the other day because I wanted some different colors. And now the Sharpie is not going to work on here. I think the other end is too fat to do what I want to do. It's not too bad, but I mean, I don't know. It's not really the look I was going for. It's not really the look I wanted. But I think what happens here is when I do that watercolor pencil, these areas that don't get as much water on them, see like these dark green lines, they're still, I think, a little bit waxy like a colored pencil, and that's why the Sharpie doesn't want to work over them, the skinny Sharpie. Because the skinny Sharpie was working on other paper this morning and now it doesn't want to work here. Maybe I just need a whole new pack of skinny Sharpies, because I do have a couple and they just don't want to work here. Okay, so let me try. I have one of these little Sharpies too. Let me try to sketch something out, and then we're going to go over it with a black pen and then go over it with a watercolor and see how that holds up. Let's do a bat. I should really be lighter handed with this. And I heard somebody say this morning that bats are really just Halloween butterflies. That made me feel better about them. And y'all, every time I draw a bat, I put little ears, but I don't think bats have ears that poke up. Everything you see with bats has ears, but I really don't think their ears poke up. I think their ears are just little holes on the side of their head like a bird, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure. Now let's try going over it with this. And I like to not have totally solid lines. I like to have little broken lines in places. I don't know why. I feel like it gives it a different kind of look than just the solid lines do. Let's see what we get. We're going to see how this turns out here. But the most important thing I'm trying to figure out right now is if this black pen is going to stay here or bleed when I put watercolor over it, because I would like to be able to sketch, then outline, then paint. Because if paint goes outside the lines, I'm okay with that. We're gonna make it into a little girl bat. Look at her little kissy lips, her little pout. Oh, she got a pout going on. Yeah, we'll do some little eyelashes on her. Now, let's see. So, I've used the pencil. I've used the little Sharpie pen. Now I'm gonna erase my lines. The Sharpie tends to hold up against the eraser. Oh, it's so cute. Look how cute that is. Now my next experiment, once I get this figured out, my next mission is to find paper that is thinner than this 300 GSM watercolor paper that I can watercolor paint on without destroying the paper. If y'all know anything about that, let me know. Comment, let me know, because I have no idea what I can do. Let's do a pink bat. And you don't have to give it a lot of pressure even. I'm not giving it much pressure at all. You see, it's not a very concentrated color over here. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. I'm just coloring in. And what you can do is go back and like in these, I guess they're joints of the wings, go a little bit heavier. I've tried doing it after I watercolor. I tried going back and doing it, and it tried to tear up the paper. I don't know what I was doing wrong. So we're just going to do a little bit of shadow in here like this. A little shadow under here, a little bit there, a little bit there. Just the places that would kind of naturally, I think, have shadow. And then I'm going to use the water brush. Let me see if it's got, oh, it's still got some color in it. Let me clean that off. It's still got a little bit of orange in the tip of the brush. I keep water in this and stand it up so that water will run down into the brush so I can get color off. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to do that today. Let me try one of these brushes. I have some actual watercolor paint brushes. Well, that one looks wacky. Let's try this one. I have some actual watercolor paint brushes. I might have a little more control with that too. And y'all, it is as simple as coloring just like with a colored pencil and then brushing over it with the brush with water. It's very cute. I don't want to have too much water here, but I think the trick is to go over these light colored areas first. The areas where you want a more sheer color. Like inside these wings, I want it more sheer. And then at those little, I don't know what they're called, the joints or spiny areas, I want it to be darker, like a shadow. Because it seems like that would be shadowed to me. And you really just push that water around and it pushes the color around. See, like that. Try to get, okay, it does not, oh, I think I might have a little, yep, looks like that pen is bleeding some. Y'all, I don't like how that looks. Now I'm going to go back over these darker areas where I wanted shadow. These areas where I wanted some shadow. Now, I'm trying to see, yeah, that Sharpie, I didn't think a Sharpie would bleed like that. But there is some bleeding. I don't know what else I can do. See how the black bled up into the forehead of the bat and between the eyes and the mouth? And then there's a little bit in these wings too, but mostly in the face. I don't like that. But I don't know how to not do that. But that bat is a very cartoonish, cute little bat. It's identifiable. You can tell what it is. One day I will figure out how to do these watercolors in sizes like this, then scan them and shrink them down to make them smaller on sticker paper. Let's see how my little acorn comes out, because I wanted to do that for November. I can see my pencil lines in there. Yeah, I don't think this color is good for this. I think I should have used a color from the actual paint palette to do that. And the more I use this brush, the more I don't like it, the more I'm starting to really like the real paint brushes, the real watercolor brushes. And y'all, this was not expensive. Oh, Lord, it's growing. At work last year, our boss wanted us to all make a list for Santa of what we wanted for Christmas and just send screenshots of it to her so that Santa could bring our gifts to us at our company Christmas party. And so I looked up a watercolor pad and watercolors, And Santa did bring those to me, yay. And I've not experimented with them the way I had hoped I would, just because I'm so scared, y'all. I'm such a, look at that. Wow. I'm not even doing real good with a pumpkin here. And I know that the books Joshy uses are not watercolor paper. I don't know if they're Leuchtturm or something else. I suppose I could find out what she uses and see if she knows if it can hold up to watercolor. Let me try just a plain black ballpoint pen. Let's do that. Let's try this and see what we get. And let's do a big leaf here. And we can go ahead and add some little detail in it like that, I suppose. Okay, now, how about a light blue pumpkin? And I know I'm close to this green pumpkin. But if I'm really careful when I'm putting the water in, they won't bleed together. And if I decide I want to use the purple one, I can. And I can cut around the blue one and use it too. But that's the other thing about this paper. Y'all, it is so hard to cut. I mean, I think it's cotton paper. From what I've read about watercolor paper, it's cotton. It's 300 GSM, which is really thick. Oh no, look what I did. I broke the point there. That's not good. Let's see what I can do here. I'm gonna go to the light areas again first. Now, I don't have a white watercolor pencil, excuse me, but on my paint palette, I have a white paint. I thought just doing a light scribble of blue and then kind of a lot of water would give me a pastel, and it really doesn't. You see, it's the same kind of blue as this over here. It's just a little more sheer, and I wanted to have a pastel, like I want to be able to do a lavender instead of a dark purple for some of my things this month. So I think, I'm just gonna go back over these blue lines because they do give it some light and shadow and depth, I think. And I don't mind going out the lines a little bit. That's okay with me. I think I need some shadow over here. Let me see if I can pull some of that down to here like that. Let me see. I'm going to try some white because there is white on this palette. I'm going to see if I can put white over this blue and see what happens. I'm not used to using white paint. Oh, y'all, look at there. It is giving me like reflection. It's giving me light. This little thing is so inexpensive. I know it was under $10. I want to say the whole thing, the brushes, the paint palette, and the paper pad were under $10. I do like that. That looks better. I think that it gives you it gives me a better what am I thinking? I think it gives me a better contrast with the shadows. And anywhere you use these pencils, you don't have to go back over them with water unless you just want to. You can leave it as a colored pencil, but you cannot go over it with like a Sharpie marker that I have found, because it's waxy like a colored pencil. And let's put a little bit of water on the screen leaf. Y'all, I'm really liking this. This is fun. What else can I do? Now, I had a little list of things I wanted to try today. We're going to put those aside and let that. I kind of like it. But that's how simple that is. It really is as simple as coloring with colored pencils. But I did still have some of the black, looks like the black ballpoint bled a little bit. I don't know what you do to stop that. Maybe because alcohol markers are alcohol, maybe they dry faster and so they don't bleed. I'm not really sure what the secret is to that. Putting some lip mask on. I love that stuff. That is good stuff. This lip mask, oops, it was in a giveaway that I won from Beth on Just Beth FabulousOver50. It's the Babe Glow Lip Mask. Y'all, if you see this, snatch it up. It is so nice. It's Babe Original is the name of this one, and it's the Babe Glow Lip Mask. I love it. You're supposed to use it at night. I like to use it all throughout the day. Now, one of the things I had on my little list that I wanted to do was like a piece, like a pumpkin pie, a piece of pumpkin pie. So let's see if I can do a slice of pumpkin pie. A slice would look like that. Kind of slanted like this for a crust. Kind of like that. And then the crust looks a little bit like that. And then you gotta have the little whipped cream on top. And that looks like a unicorn horn. It doesn't look like, it does not look like whipped cream to me. It looks like a unicorn horn. So let me put this back on here again. There's the crust. Maybe the whipped cream needs to be allowed down a little bit lower. Let me try to erase some of this. And I think I can start using, instead of this, I'm sure this is the #2 pencil. I think what I might need to start doing is using a harder lead. Well, it looks like a poop emoji, which is kind of what cream looks like. Let's try this. Okay, and here we go. Here's our crust. There's the pie. Oh, we gotta have crust down here too. I know it's kind of silly because we're still, I mean, it's October, but I like pumpkin pie any time of year, really. It's not just for Thanksgiving. And so, to get the colors I want from here, let's see. I don't know. Oh, this is a good looking orange right here. We're gonna try using the paint palette paint. Now, I do think this is going to need a little bit of a brown over it. It's very orangey. And I wonder if it's going to bleed. Trying to get in around here. But you know, I think watercolor is pretty when it's not exactly in the lines. Let me try to find a brown looking color. Maybe this one. I feel like we need a little bit of brown in here. It's looking like pumpkin pie, huh? And then I think I have the perfect color for crust too. Look at that, y'all. I think this gold looking color looks good for the crust. I do have a smaller brush. Let's see if it will work for that. Get it wet. I think I'm gonna try this gold looking color. I think it's supposed to be this one. We'll see. Oh, I think I need more water on it. I think I like it. But now that I'm looking at it, maybe I need to be trying to use a gray kind of marker for this instead of the black. The black almost looks too harsh, or maybe it's because I did this in very solid lines instead of doing the kind of dashes like I did before. Maybe that's why it's not the same. But it looks very harsh to me. Now here I went over that Sharpie and it doesn't look like it bled. So what does that mean? That's a cool looking little piece of pumpkin pie, y'all. I think I did pretty good. I do know that I have to let it dry completely before I go over it with a Sharpie, because if I go over it with a Sharpie now, it'll make holes in the paper. I've learned lots of little lessons, but I haven't learned all the lessons yet. I'm definitely not an expert. I'm not a professional. I don't think I ever will be, but if I ever am, I'm gonna sell stickers, y'all. If I ever figure out how to do this, I'm gonna start doing my hand-painted little designs, then shrinking them down and printing them on sticker paper and making my own stickers. What was the other thing I thought about? A turkey leg, a big turkey leg. And kind of like that. I mean, it's kind of boring. You don't get a lot of color with a turkey leg, but let's see. We're gonna try to not do so solid lines this time. See if that helps some. Now a turkey leg is gonna have some little dots in it and stuff, little things, I think. I don't know what that looks like. Let's go back and erase that. And let me see if I can get a good color for that. Now see, we like fried turkey down here. And fried turkey has a different color to it. I think this might be a good color. Might be too dark. Oh no, it's pretty good. I think that's the same color that I mixed into the, now see, this Sharpie does not seem to be bleeding. course, I'm not getting a lot of shadow in here either. Maybe these little lines need some shadows on them. I hope y'all can see this. I have not figured out yet. I know there's a way to mirror my phone onto my computer while I am recording. There is a way to do it. I don't know that way yet. I'm going to put a little bit of brown on here, and then I'm going to go back over it with the white. Because we know the bone is going to have some, it's going to have some color on it, but not a lot. Oh, I'm going to have to go back over it when it dries. And it looks like a chicken leg instead of a turkey leg, but I'll take that too. That's cute. We usually, in our dressing, we don't usually put, oops, there went a pumpkin. We don't usually put turkey in our dressing, and we don't usually stuff the turkey with the dressing. We usually cook chicken and then debone it, or cook it, you know, debone it and then cook it. We usually put chicken in our cornbread dressing, and that's the other thing. We make dressing with a cornbread. I like it with sweet cornbread with green onions and yellow onions and celery and garlic and a bunch of butter and poultry seasoning and a little bit of sage, and you use a ton of butter, and you saute the onions and the celery and the garlic and the green onions and all that butter, and you make your cornbread ahead of time and crumble your cornbread, then pour the butter and onions and everything into it. I usually boil a couple of eggs and dice them up. I'm not sure why you do that, but you do, and mix them in with it. And then I put mine in a casserole dish and use, I only cook with chicken breast. I don't use any dark meat chicken. And I'll use like a wooden spoon, and I would lay the pieces of chicken on there, like, you know, shredded, kind of like bite size, or like 2 bite size pieces. Not the whole breast. I'll lay the pieces on there and then poke them in with a wooden spoon and kind of spread the dressing over the top again. And then pour a little bit of chicken broth over the top before I put it in the oven. And then put it in the oven and let it cook. Oh, I forgot. You crack raw eggs into that mix too, because that helps hold it together when it bakes. Forgot that part. Anyway, that's got me ready for Thanksgiving now. I'm hungry for Thanksgiving. So that's, and then I bake it and watch it throughout. And if it looks like it's starting to get dry, I'll put a little bit more broth on it, or poke holes in it with a wooden spoon and pour broth and let it cook some more. Because you want that egg cooked. Everything else in there is already cooked. Your chicken is cooked, your cornbread's cooked. Everything else is cooked except the beaten egg that you put in there to help it stick together when it bakes. So you just gotta leave it in the oven long enough for that to get done, and for the top to get a little bit of a crust on the top, like golden, and a crust on top. Y'all, man, I love me some cornbread dressing. Oh, look, I touched that. Paint came off. But you know what? Maybe that's a way to do things. Look, it came off, but look how good the whipped cream looks now. What else can we do? It's not very Thanksgiving-y, but I want to do a cluster of grapes, maybe. See if I can do some purple grapes. Because, you know, when you do a cluster of grapes, it's not exactly perfect. You're getting some circles and some are partial circles. You know, you don't see whole ones in some areas. So I'm trying to see if I can do this. Oh, guess what? I have a package getting delivered. I'm so excited. I know exactly what it is. It's from my friend Vidya. Now, a grape leaf. Although, now I'm doing this. Do you ever buy grapes in a grocery store that have a leaf on them. I never have. But we're going to draw that on here anyway, just because. And the grapes are kind of big in proportion to the leaf. That's okay too, because it's art. And I used to tell my kids when they were little and in preschool, when they would come home upset because their picture didn't look like somebody else's, art comes from your heart and God puts it there, so everybody's art is different. And that usually satisfied them, and they're being upset because they thought their art didn't look like somebody else's. And then when I worked in the schools, I told kids the same thing. I had, when I worked in the classroom with the kids on the spectrum, I had one who would get so upset because his art did not look like somebody else's art. And, oh man, that was hard. But I think I was finally able to convince him that his art would not look like anybody else's, because God put it there and everybody's art is different. Let's see what we're going to get here. Oh my word, look at that grape. Now, I do want to have different colors of purple grapes. I don't want them to all be the same color. So I'm not going to dip back into that paint yet. I'm just going to kind of go back to where the water is there. That grape is really wet. And then there's another shade of purple next to this that looks like it might have a little bit of kind of a little more red to it. Let's see what it looks like. I can't exactly tell how it's supposed to be different, but let's do it at the back. Oh, wow. Y'all, this is so much fun. I can put a little bit of that in there between these grapes, like shadow. Okay, I like it. I like it. Let me get green for the leaf here. So this is actually, I'm actually watercoloring now, I guess. I'm not just using pencils. But I think this needs some dark to it too. See if I can find a brown. Let me see what this color is. I might be getting too much water in it. Oh look, that looks good. So I've decided, like, as much as I love doing the art and filming it and posting it and sharing everything with y'all, I really think I might establish a goal to make my art into stickers and learn about how to really do that. Anyway, this is what I've done so far. It doesn't look like a lot, but it was fun, right? I'm not too stressed out. I find this relaxing, actually. I may experiment with some of the adult coloring books, using watercolor in them and then cutting out sections to make stickers with. Of course, I would never sell something like that. That's not mine. But it's just, I guess, a way to practice blending colors and highlight and dark and things like that. Anyway, I just want to share that with y'all. I know that I've got a package that just got delivered of some things from Vidya from Tuxedo Plans, and I do want to do an unboxing, so I'll record that, but it may not get posted today. It may be tomorrow before it gets posted. I appreciate y'all coming and watching. I appreciate your feedback. Man, this channel has tripled in less than a month, and that's unbelievable. My family members don't even follow me on here. Big surprise. But my family members don't even follow me. I have strangers from all over the world that follow me, and I love it. I think it's great. And I'm going to share our affirmation for today because I want to make sure I'm going to say it, I'm going to repeat it, and then I'm going to switch it for you. I am strong both in mind and body. I am strong both in mind and body. You are strong, both in mind and body. Don't forget that. Don't let anybody take that away from you. And don't let anybody try to tell you any different. You are strong, both in mind and body. And you can do whatever you set your mind to. You can, because God put it in you. You can do it. That's all, guys. Bye.